Things are being thrown. There's no room for this in the sport. There's no room for the Davis brothers to be in the building tonight. The police escorted them out. You saw a stroller being moved.
His jokes prior to his fight against Lamont Roach. After the fight, look how many were waiting.
The hardest punch I ever faced. Nope. And I ain't shitting on him or nothing like that. He can punch.
Tensions flared backstage as Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach came face-to-face before their rematch. Roach remained composed, unfazed by Davis's words. Rather than engage in mind games, he stayed locked in on the task ahead, believing that his performance inside the ring will speak louder than any trash talk. He's confident he'll walk away with the win.
The outside critics, I know what I could do in the ring, and that's the only thing that matters, honestly, is that I go out, give it my all, and perform, and most likely, 9 times out of 10 when I do that, I'll be victorious.
Lamont Roach has confidently dismissed the idea that Gervonta Davis is the most powerful puncher he's faced. According to Roach, he's absorbed harder shots in past fights, and Davis's power doesn't intimidate him. His calm demeanor reflects a mindset built on experience and grit. He refuses to be shaken by reputation alone.
I think the hardest punch I ever faced. Nope. And I ain't shitting on him or nothing like that. He can punch. But Jonathan Okendo, he's from Puerto Rico. Bro, he got bricks in his hands, bro. I lie to you not. He punch hard. I ain't gonna lie. He a hard-headed motherfucker.
In their first meeting, Davis's unexpected decision to take a knee created chaos and dramatically shifted public perception. Roach's poised response elevated him in the eyes of fans and critics alike, positioning him as the first fighter. To truly test Davis, that moment planted the belief that Roach has what it takes to dominate the rematch.
Tank did that, so I know the got in his eye, but they should have countered it. They would have countered it, it would have went to Lamont Roach. What I didn't like about Tank, he was gassing up Lamont Roach way too much, and he was already talking about like retiring.
He got a little distracted, didn't he, in the fight?
That wasn't the same Gervonta Davis we're really used to seeing.
It just lets you know how corrupt like these governing bodies are, bro. If that dude took a knee, not only did he take a knee, he's like, hold on real quick. Let me get this out of my eye. How is that not a point? Like,
you know, funny thing, bro, that's why I cut my braids off. I had braids, and I had the same thing. I went through the same when I fought Andre. That burning my eye, so I cut that off.
Recent footage shows a visibly transformed Davis leaner, more explosive and laser-focused. His online messages and intense training videos signal a fighter locked in on redemption. Supporters are taking notice, expecting nothing less than a statement performance in the ring. Roy Jones Jr. praised Davis's explosive blend of power and precision, noting how quickly he can take control of a fight. While Jones acknowledged that the rematch won't be easy, he remains confident Davis's presence and experience in the ring will ultimately tip the scales in his favor.
Saturday night, Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach. What are we expecting from this fight?
Well, I was expecting Gervonta just continue to show us his dominance and show us who he really is. It's really a coming out party for Roach, but we kind of haven't seen him a lot. So he get to show people what he has too. And usually when you get two guys who are boxers amateurs, it's going to equate to a good fight for the first 2 rounds. But then when the pro rounds take over, we'll find out, has Roach adjusted to being a pro yet? Or is Tank too superior as a pro? And that's where the difference will come in. You got a good back foot game like that, and you understand boxing like he understands it, he gonna make it rough for anybody. But, you know, Tank is a different animal too. So, it's a great fight. That's why everybody want to see it. We can't just look at it and say, oh, he gonna win, oh, he gonna win.
Many believe Davis was off his game during the first fight, whether due to personal distractions or a flawed strategy. Now, with his legacy questioned, Davis seems determined to set the record straight. His approach to training and public remarks suggests that this isn't just a rematch, it's a mission to restore his dominance.
So breaking news, Tank Davis vs. Lamont Roach 2 is set for August 16th in Las Vegas. And this is a rematch of one of the most controversial fights in recent memory, where Roach arguably won 7 to 8 rounds of that fight, and then Tank took a voluntary knee in round 9, which wasn't ruled a knockdown, but ultimately it was scored a majority draw. Now in the rematch, I do expect Tank to look much better than he did in the first fight. I don't think that was his best performance by any means. And that means being more active in the early rounds, you know, not just staying on the ropes looking for counters. And I'm sure he'll be willing to exchange more with Roach this time around. You know, the left hands, the combinations, the body shots, That's where he had the most success in the first fight. And Roach, he just needs to stick to what made him so successful in the first fight. His forward pressure, staying behind that jab and right hand. But most importantly, he wasn't scared to take it to Tank, but he also didn't get too aggressive. You know, most of Tank's opponents, if they're scared of the power, they'll sit back on the ropes, get slowly broken down, or if they end up getting too aggressive, they get caught with the counterpunch. But Roach, he was sharp that whole fight. You know, I would go Tank in the rematch. I think he has a lot more to show this time around. But Roach did prove to be a very tough test. But you guys let me know who you got.
Roach isn't just chasing a win, he's gunning for a knockout. His training has been relentless, reflecting his determination to make a lasting impact. A decisive victory over Davis could catapult him to boxing's upper echelon and cement his name among the sport's elite.
That you sent him to retirement earlier.
My initial plan is to win, but every time I fight, I'm trying to knock somebody out. So, so you know, if that happens in the midst of it, you know, that'd be a blessing. That'd be definitely something that I work for, because I work my ass off. But if he on his way out, well, why not kick his ass out? It does in a sense, but yeah, it do for sure. I ain't gonna lie. I like to prove people wrong, and I damn sure like to prove myself right. So it definitely gives me an incentive. And like I said before, I've been before. Mm-hmm. The Hector fight, they had me duck. Right now, they really got me. They really got me.
Roach has expressed full confidence in his preparation, claiming he possesses all the tools needed for victory. His words aren't cocky, they're grounded in effort, discipline, and focus. He believes he can adapt to anything Davis brings on fight night.
Beat 30 people, knocked out, 28 of them, right? Mm-hmm. What makes you different?
He probably can't answer that question. He probably can't answer that question. But it's the skill, the will. I got the whole package, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not sitting there waiting to get hit by nobody, especially somebody that's supposed to be a power puncher. Mm-hmm. That's evidently a power puncher. Mm-hmm. I got too much.
Trainer Greg Hackett pointed out that the pressure is immense for both fighters. He believes the match will come down to razor-sharp precision. For Davis, Hackett warned, staying disciplined and alert every second is non-negotiable. One lapse could be costly.
Rumors of what's going on in Tank's camp and, you know, training with this person, training with that person.
Yeah.
Who has the edge heading into the rematch?
Neither one of them. Lamont, you know what? I'm lying. 55-45, Lamont.
Why?
Lamont got the edge because he already did the unexpected. He was supposed to get knocked out coming up from 130. And not only did he not get knocked out, he performed and possibly won the fight. That's what some people believe. I thought it was a very close fight. But after you asked me that question, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I think Lamont do have a slight edge just because he did what he wasn't supposed to do. So a lot of people go in there and they very obedient to Tank's power, and Lamont wasn't that night. Lamont wasn't having it, and he said he wasn't having it. He said it before. Y'all tripping. Y'all must be really like tripping. So I guess we was tripping.
Could we see the most focused Gervonta Davis after him getting so much backlash for the performance, for the taking a knee, etc.?
This would be the night we have to see the most focused because if he's not the most focused, then he gonna be in trouble. It's just that simple. This is the night you gotta be not on your A game, you gotta be on your everything game. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have everything with you that night, and you can't play about it. And you gotta mean it. Every step gotta be counted for, and he know that. So I'm looking for this just to be a great fight. Great fight.
Who you picking to win?
Mikey Garcia shared a thoughtful take, highlighting Davis's ability to learn from past mistakes. Still, he cautioned that mental clarity is everything. Without it, even the sharpest game plan can collapse. His message to Davis: show up locked in or don't show up at all.
And hopefully, I'd like to see it.
I think Tank wins in the rematch.
Why?
I think he'll make the right adjustments, and he won't take too long to fight. He kind of gave a lot of the round away sometimes. I think he'll be more active and he'll win. But big props to Roach for his last fight and performance. Fuck, I'm surprised everybody.
Right.
I think he was robbed from the victory. Again, that knockdown should have been a knockdown.
Right.
But whatever, he gets a rematch, you know. And maybe they get a third fight, you know, after that. Who knows? Maybe
it turns the markets back out.
Maybe it turns out to be another great fucking matchup, and they say, you know what, let's run it back.
Right.
And maybe that controversy from the first fight actually helps Roach fucking get 3 fights out of it instead of just the one, or, you know, you never know. So, hey, things happen for a reason, and I think
The edge.
I'm not a psychiatrist, bro. I don't know. Everybody's a little different. What I got to say is, like, if you're dealing with any mental health, it seems to be a very common thing. If you don't feel that you're 100% dedicated or 100% capable of blocking out, you know, personal life issues or whatever to get in the ring, then don't get in the ring. Don't get in the ring. Now, if you're...
It seems like a lot of fighters
if you're
going through stuff and they get in
If you're going through stuff and you feel like maybe it's helping, like he says, maybe it's helping him fucking do it. Let him do it. I don't know. Dude,
Kenny Ellis acknowledged Roach's visible hard work, but warned fans not to put too much stock in highlight clips. What really matters, he said, is how a fighter handles pressure when the punches start flying. For Ellis, Davis's mental toughness will be the deciding factor.
To be another great fucking matchup, and they say, you know what, let's run it back.
Right.
And maybe that controversy from the first fight actually helps Roach fucking get 3 fights out of it instead of just the one, or, you know, you never know. So, hey, things happen for a reason, and I think he did really well in his first one. Hopefully he puts on a great fight, even if he were to lose, but in a great fight, shit, he'll get a third fight.
Right.
You know?
Mikey, what do you make of him saying he wants to go to therapy to fix his like mental health, but not yet because he doesn't want to get fixed yet because he needs that?
In the ring, then don't get in the ring. Don't get in the ring. Now, if you're...
It seems like a lot of fighters
if you're
going through stuff and they get in
If you're going through stuff and you feel like maybe it's helping, like he says, maybe it's helping him fucking do it. Let him do it. I don't know. Dude, I had personal stuff. A lot of fighters have issues. It's life, bro. This is our job, but their life keeps going. Life continues.
You have to juggle this with life.
You have to juggle. You have to balance. And it's tough, bro. It ain't easy. It ain't easy at all. You gotta be dealing with family, with kids, with wives, with girlfriends.
What's crazy that I always see the same stories.
Another loss could deal a severe blow to Davis's reputation. A single defeat can be shrugged off. Back-to-back failures and a major rematch would spark real doubts about his place in the sport. This isn't just about winning, it's about saving face, restoring confidence, and proving he still belongs at the top.
Oh, is the rematch happening or what? Because I'm ready to see a motherfucker get knocked out again. I'm not here to debate because y'all really go neck and neck for this for the rest of the tourney on who y'all think really won, who y'all think should have won, who y'all think didn't win. This is probably one of the biggest debates that will never be solved. Well, they put up a good fight. I'm not going to lie, y'all, but damn near seemed like it was set up for them to have another match. Because exactly what Lamont did to Tank the whole first half, that's what Tank did to Lamont the whole second half. So what the fuck? It literally went neck for neck. I feel like it was a tie in my opinion. So hard to even say that though, because you just see so much demolishment from one and then for it to flip to the other and it just had your mind like, what? Just really had your mind blown. Like, what the fuck? I feel like when it came to the decision of the fight, a lot of people were real biased. A lot of people definitely went off of just a personal opinion of the person, a history of liking the person, not off of the fight itself. I will admit that really going into this fight, the first time, I thought Lamont was going to get his shit knocked off. I thought Tank was going to do him in. Now, although Tank, if I'm not going to lie, Lamont had him. He stuck with him the whole 12. If you know anything about boxing, especially boxing a motherfucker like Tank, you know that it's to flex the last 12 rounds just as much as it is to beat a motherfucker. The fact that Lamont lasted 12 rounds with him was really getting up, I'm not gonna lie, stinging shit, all 12. It showed that this next match gonna really show who the fucking winner was. I do gotta say, Tank probably gonna come ready for him, but the fact that Lamont came ready for him, as ready for him as he did last match, I ain't gonna lie, I'm scared for both of them. This should be bigger than the Super Bowl, I'm not gonna lie. They say it's supposed to be happening in the summer, which would be a really good way to kick off the summer. And I know these two got a vengeance out for each other. Regardless of growing up together and fighting together, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. The way that fight went down, I'm not gonna lie, I really feel like this is gonna be history. Like, I can't wait to watch this shit.
Ellis has hinted that Davis's camp has made some behind-the-scenes changes that could drastically alter his fight strategy. Though details remain under wraps, the secrecy is building anticipation. Whatever they're working on, Team Davis believes it will shift the tide and make this one of the most highly anticipated showdowns of the year.
What do you see? Both of them, like I said, they both at top of their game. I see a competitive fight, nice, clean, crispy shots like the first fight. Mm-hmm. I mean, I can't speak on what I seen, but the fight will be different.
Right, because you could strategize and do different things.
Yeah, it'll be different.
Rolly Romero defended Davis, arguing that even legends have off nights. One bad performance, he said, shouldn't erase years of dominance. In Romero's eyes, Davis remains one of the sport's biggest names and a generational talent.
That people want to discredit Tank, he's still a pound for pound fighter.
Yeah. What do you think about that fight that happened? You thought it was just an off night, or
everybody has an off night? Everybody has an off night. Shit, I had a night with Cruz. Everyone has a night. It's boxing.
You want to run that back with Cruz or what?
Maybe down the line.
Teofimo Lopez observed that Davis seemed isolated after the first fight, abandoned by many of his usual supporters. The criticism was swift, with many questioning his skills and resolve. For Lopez, this rematch is Davis's shot to rewrite the story, reclaim lost respect, and remind the world why he's a champion.
I know a lot of people, look what they did with Gervonta too. I want everybody, all these young fighters that are listening to this, and you could clip this. It's a short part right here.
I got you.
To Ryan could clip this right here. To all you young fighters, look at the amount of love they were giving and sharing to Gervonta Tank Davis prior to the fight. Look at what all the reporters were doing prior to the fight. Look how they were all laughing at all his jokes prior to his fight against Lamont Roach. After the fight, look how many were waiting to down this man. Down him. See, I'm going to talk my smack with Tank, but that's because I want to fight him. That's me. I can say that. But I just want all you young fighters to really look about it. They don't care about us.
Yeah.
They won't ever care about us. When you're winning, they're going to be there. But they're waiting for any moment to slip up. Just a man, even a draw. Look how much hate he got out of it.
Yeah, not to get deep, but it's a part of our psychology. We have to learn how to care about other people. You know what I mean?
Sean Porter emphasized Davis's elite boxing IQ and raw power. He praised Davis's ability to read opponents and adjust mid-fight, calling him one of the most dangerous fighters in the lightweight division. Despite recent criticism, Porter warned, underestimate Davis at your own risk.
And the thing that I really appreciate about Tank is he's a dog. That kind of that what he just said. You can put them earmuffs up and go at it. He kind of will assess you as well, and whatever he needs to do, he'll do it. So
Gervonta Davis is locked in like never before. His training is grueling, built on speed, power, and improved strategy. He isn't just training to win. He's training to dominate and silence every critic. Every sweat-drenched round in the gym is a statement. He's not finished, and he's ready to prove why he's still one of boxing's most feared names.
Everybody really think Tank go take the L. I've been seeing it. They say it's over. They think that this time Lamont go in more confident, knowing that basically he can, really take it to Tank. Yeah, I want him to go in there confident. He's very skilled. Go in there confident, because you gonna go up against a different Tank. Like I told y'all in previous videos, he go in there confident, thinking he could walk Tank down. Don't forget, with Tank, if he get you on that button, them lights going off, I don't care who you is. Remember how it ended up with Frank Martin? So yeah, don't go in there thinking that you going against like somebody that, like Ryan Garcia, somebody that's gonna fold. You going against Gervonta Tank Davis. And I think that confidence is what's gonna get Lamont dropped. Because one thing I will say, with Tank, that wasn't your best fight against Lamont, bro. Confident, and you was really just, your mind was in y'all story, the lore and everything with y'all history. You ain't going there like I'm fighting a stranger. You going there like, oh, this Lamont, this from the same camp, we from the same area. But now I think that whole situation woke him up, because you got to think, Tank not used to losing